pausing, dramatic tone. Did you know that a single stroke of a pen in an obscure maritime treaty irrevocably changed naval strategies across the globe? This is the story of the forgotten signal that changed the seas. Pause for emphasis. In the late 19th century, when oceans were charted yet unknowable and rival empires battled for dominance, something exceptional took place beyond the gaze of historians. This little-known piece of history lies in the heart of a meeting room in Paris in 1884. But first, let's set the scene. Back then, maritime navigation was treacherous. Sailing ships and steam vessels roamed the seas at their peril when storms and darkness fell. Sailors relied on courage, crude compasses, and celestial navigation when stars weren't obscured. However, the Industrial Revolution had brought the world closer, and new concerns bubbled up. Oceans, once boundless, started to feel constricted as nations aggressively competed for sea lanes. Merchant ships tangled with navies, unaware of shifting lines of alliances or war declarations. Chaos ruled the seas, slightly uplifting tone. But then came a pivotal meeting. Representatives from major world powers convened in Paris for what was known officially as the General Conference regarding Maritime Navigational Julienne Systems. Yeah, not the flashiest title. For weeks, officials debated proposals, chief among them a standardized way to communicate danger, distress, and directives to every sailor on Earth, regardless of language or nationality. The concept of internationally recognized signal flags was proposed. These standardized visual signals could be spotted and interpreted even by adversaries, and it was one specific flag, code signal W, hoisted on the tallest mast, that held the potential to literally save lives and halt conflicts. Transition to a deeper storytelling tone. The W flag wasn't just about weather warnings or navigation, it was revolutionary. This flag signaled a rare diplomatic truce. Merchant vessels flying it were stating neutrality, off limits to hostile action even when waters boiled with tension. A neutral zone, marked by a mere symbol, and what's more, it worked, for a time. Empires, regardless of size, instructed naval officers to abide by the treaty as a demonstration of shared humanity above the fray of geopolitics. Over decades, this signal, so simple in its construction, yet profound in its effect, reshaped naval power. Merchant shipping could supply wartime nations without unbearable risk. Loved ones back home waited for goods rather than funerals, and maritime trade routes thrummed with life. Pause for reflection. But, like all things in history, it didn't last forever. Agreements frayed as larger conflicts like World War I descended upon humanity. The W flag's protections began to erode in face of unrestricted submarine warfare, nationalism, and discontent. By then, its story had already been largely forgotten. And while modern shipping is governed by international conventions, the seeds of cooperation via signal flags, planted in 1884, subtly influenced the maritime laws we rely on today. Enthusiasm returns. So next time you're by the shoreline, watching boats glide across the horizon, take a moment to wonder about the flags they hoist and the centuries of struggle, cooperation, and conflict these signals represent. This was the forgotten signal that changed the seas. Final pause. History's most powerful tales often begin with a whisper. Are you listening? If you want more stories like this, join us again for another episode of Fascinating History.